serial killers are possessed by demons. 100,000%. That's what's going on. So, guys, we have to remember that the way demons work is that they manipulate energy to give you urges to sin, i.e. succubus, incubus. They can possess you to make you extremely sexually aroused to cheat on your spouse, watch adult videos, do all sorts of things. Now, lust is one of the more common ones. They can also urge you to lie, cheat, steal. Worst case scenario, they can urge you to kill. The Native Americans, they have this demon in their mythology, in their folklore. It's called the Wendigo. It's a massive demon. It's like 12 feet tall. It has antlers like a moose. So this demon, one of its powers is that it can possess a person and cause them to eat other people. It can make people into cannibals. Some really gruesome stuff. You know, and it's got me thinking, I've known this for a while now, but like, this is something that needs to be shared, and people need to know this stuff, because this is real. So, serial killers and just people in general that enjoy killing people, these people are demonically possessed. So there was this guy back in the 70s or 80s, his name was David Berkowitz. He was from New York City, and he shot and killed 8 people, just randomly. He'd go to the city in the middle of the night, find someone random, and just pop, 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 shoot them, right? And then when the cops found him, he fully confessed to the 8 killings. And the crazy thing is, when he confessed, he told them that the reason why he did what he did was because he's following orders from his neighbor's dog. Now, his rationale was that he's following orders from an evil spirit, a demonic spirit that it was disguised as his neighbor's black dog. The average person would hear this and think he's absolutely insane. But once you start digging into the occult and digging into the reality of where we live, of Earth and this realm and all that stuff, you realize that he's probably telling the truth. Because demons can take on the forms of animals, and when they do take the forms of animals, it's almost always, if not always, black animals. So like black cats, black dogs. That's why black cats are known as bad luck, because demons can take on the forms of black cats, and they do take on the form of black cats all the time. And then we got Richard Ramirez, who was a serial killer back in the 80s. What he used to do is, they called him the Night Stalker. He would break into people's houses in the middle of the night, and he would essay them, then kill them. But the thing that makes his case very strange and very cruel and evil is that when he would kill them, he would draw pentagrams on the wall with blood. Some dark stuff, man. When they caught him, he would show up to court and he would have, you know, like the pentagram drawn in the middle of his hand and just flash it to the camera, kind of like showing off the fact that he was a Satanist. You know, you see photos of this guy. I'm gonna post up some photos real quick. What he looked like. You see photos of him, and you look in his eyes, and that's the look of a demon. His soul's no longer there. He's possessed. And then you got Jeffrey Dahmer. Everyone knows about Dahmer, the guy from the 80s in Milwaukee. He killed like 20 guys or something, 20 dudes. So on top of him like killing animals when he was a kid, which is a huge red flag. If children are killing animals, that is a precursor to them killing eventually humans. But on top of that, he was fascinated by the occult. In particular, his favorite movies were horror movies. That being The Exorcist. Every time he would have victims over, he'd be playing The Exorcist. He would claim that it was his favorite movie. You know, like, do you see this theme going on here, guys? So one thing I learned recently is that serial killers also have a tendency to be addicted to adult entertainment. I'll call it corn. They have a tendency to be addicted to corn. Ted Bundy said himself in an interview that 80% of prisoners are addicted to porn. There's a connection here. See, many serial killers have an element of sex when they take the lives of their victims. Almost all of them. Like they'll go and find like a sex worker, do the deed, and then take their lives. You got Ted Bundy, who would kill innocent women. You know, it's just, the list goes on. This is not a coincidence. Because the thing is, porn pervades your soul. It corrupts your soul. It dims the light that you have. It dims your compassion, your empathy, your love. So you no longer have compassion for other people. It starts with you objectifying women. So instead of seeing women as another human, you start seeing women as objects, pleasure. And then once a person is sort of bored with regular heterosexual porn, they'll move on to other fetish porn. They'll move on to animal porn, they'll move on to, use your imagination. Once this isn't enough for them, that's when they move on to the real life. A lot of people don't realize how damaging porn is to society. Once porn is introduced to society, that's when it starts to rot like crazy. You know, these serial killers, it's absolutely wild when you hear them in interviews talking about the feeling that they get when they take a life. They say that it gives them sexual pleasure. That is the most demonic thing I've ever heard in my life. That is, in my opinion, that's not human. That's not a human anymore. You know, what kind of human thinks like that? I can think about my life. I've known people through other people that were demonically possessed and ended up taking the lives of others. So for example, there was this girl I once knew. Her father was killed by his son. His son lost his mind and thought his father was a monster or a demon or something. So he freaked out, grabbed the kitchen knife, stabbed him like 10 times in the back. His father passed away, lost his life. Absolutely tragic. You know, my friend lost her father. The little boy lost his father, and then he ended up going to some mental institution. For a few years, he got released ever since then. Another story, so this is actually, I'm sure you have heard of this. So this actually happened in Canada, I believe Saskatchewan, where this guy got onto a Greyhound bus, and then this other guy, I think he was Asian or something, got onto the bus, sat next to him, and he like seemed a little off, but the guy was like, he was tired, he was sleeping, and then somehow the guy just snapped. And when he snapped, he literally ate this guy's face off. He ate him. I think at one point he took out his heart, and then RCMP showed up. Like, just imagine showing up to the scene as an RCMP officer and seeing this guy chewing on a man's heart or chewing on a man's severed head, right? Demonic possession. Oh, by the way, he got released. This guy got released, right? Because the doctors know that this was an acute one-off occurrence, and that this is not a person that, you know, will probably do this again. Man, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. And this kind of goes like hand in hand with what I was talking about with possession. So a common occurrence of people that are demonically possessed after the fact is that the victim won't remember anything. So they're gonna be like, what the heck happened? You know, they're kind of like just black out the whole situation. This is the exact same thing that happens when people snap and then they end up killing people and then claim insanity. They don't remember anything. Demonic possession. You know, and it doesn't have to be just like one person specifically. It can be an entire section of a city that is demonically possessed. It's more like infested, we'll call it. So for example, there are certain parts of cities where killings are rampant, like an everyday daily thing, okay? You can literally drive through these parts of the city and feel the dark energy. You feel like a bad vibe. Like if you know you're in a car, you close the windows. You don't walk out here at night. No way, right? And that's because these parts of the cities are infested with demons. You can't see them, but you can feel them. And on top of that, these demons are affecting the minds of the inhabitants of these parts of the cities, so these people kill other people. So when these people kill other people, the demons are feeding. They're essentially being fed human sacrifices. And the people have no clue. You know, Southside Chicago, Compton, LA, Baltimore, St. Louis, Memphis, these are all hubs for demons to feed. this dark truth. You know, when you guys subscribe to my channel, I give you guys the truth. However dark it is, or however beautiful it is, you get both sides. This is the reality that we live in. You know, there's a really good movie that I want to talk about called Frailty. This movie is essentially about a guy that has a vision from God. And in this vision, he is chosen by God to kill people that are demons. They're demons in human form. And they cause a whole lot of suffering to a whole lot of people. So at first he's like, you know, this is crazy, no way. And then he just gets more and more visions, and then he is convicted that this is the truth and he needs to do what he does. So the whole movie, he's unaliving these people. And like, you as the viewer, you're just like, you don't know what to do. You don't know if he's actually crazy, if you don't know if this is legit. But at the end, you find out it was all true. He was chosen by God. These were real visions. And these people that he was unaliving were real demons. Anyways, guys, my neighbor's dog is pretty pissed off. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Peace.